This family's new home has a view of Manhattan that's been hidden for a century.
This was never finished space. It was always just used for storage.
Area designers are standing by to help them turn their 100-year-old attic into a gathering spot for a modern family.
This house is actually a federal style. It was built somewhere between 1907 and 1917. And oddly enough, the granddaughter of the original owner provided me with this old picture from around 1924. And when I looked at it, I couldn't believe that other than the car that was in the driveway, the house looked exactly the same. Here we are in our third floor attic. This was never finished space.
When we first saw the house, it was completely unfinished and stuffed with stuff for 20 years, 30 years.
And since the room was unfinished, it was a wide open space, it just suited being converted into a family room very well. Some of the features that we like about the room that we wanted to keep were these collars here. We didn't know what to do with them, but we didn't want to hide them behind the drywall, so we tried to keep them out. The other feature of the room we really like is the unfinished brick on the chimney. And also, there was always a pine floor in this room. It was never finished, but we were hoping to somehow salvage it.
Another great thing about this room are the windows. They're really unique. We have these quarter-round windows that were originally here. We just replaced them with new ones. There are also 3 dormer windows that face the city.
We imagined this area of the room to be the seating area of the room where you could watch TV, maybe an area rug or a coffee table with several sofas or chairs or couches, but somehow, as Deborah said,
create this space as the entertainment area of the room.
In this area, we imagined having some type of wet bar or little kitchenette. So what we did is we ran the plumbing and the electrical to put in a sink, but we really didn't know how to build out this space. What we imagined having here was maybe some additional seating or a bar. Deborah had a few ideas.
Maybe a window seat, but what we really wanted to do and what I've always wanted to do was build into the wall these pachinko machines that we have. And that'll kind of set the tone, we thought, for a play area. So we want it to be fun and warm and working with the character of the room that's already here, because that's what we love about it. We feel that the details in the room give it character and also create the challenge.
Deborah and Chris have set aside $30,000 for labor and materials to create a hangout for the whole family. Let's meet the area designers who want to help make sure their money is well spent. Up first is Thomas A. Conway of the Rosen Group Architecture Design. Next up is designer Heather Higgins of Higgins Design Studio. Heather places an emphasis on rich materials and interesting color palettes.
I just love color and fabrics. They're so exciting to me. I think that they make such a difference in a room. Unlike Manhattan, where space is a premium, in Weehawken you have these wonderful old homes like Chris and Deborah's. Their attic is just amazing. I mean, who would think that a space like that was used as storage?
Finally, we have the team of Ron Wagner and Timothy Van Dam of Wagner Van Dam Design and Decoration. What do our designers have planned for Chris and Deborah's unfinished attic?
The arcade holds your pachinko machines. It does face Coney Island, which is perfect.
As I felt in the federal house, there was nothing more American than denim.
Here is Madison painting away on her easel.
After meeting with the couple, our experts turned to their drawing boards. They're now ready to present their ideas to Chris and Deborah. Next up, Heather Higgins gives the Old World attic a contemporary look with an aesthetic that fits the historical architectural detail.
I've divided the plan actually into 3 different areas according to the main functions that'll be happening in this room. This area I've provided primarily for adults and also for your immediate family. I've located the television in this cabinet so that when you're sitting here, you'll have easy access to see the television, but you'll also be able to see the view of the city. I've placed your stereo and VCR and that kind of equipment in this cabinet. In this cabinet, you can store your videos and any books that you want kept up here. I selected a denim for the 2 sofas. I felt in the federal house there was nothing more American than denim. It's also particularly kid-friendly.
Yeah, sure.
Heather adds 2 club chairs and an ottoman and coordinating kid-friendly fabrics.
The other side of the room I've actually divided into 2 functions. The table is on casters so that if your daughter has a play date, the table can kind of shift back here, expanding the size of the play area. But when you have a large party in here, this can shift over this way. I've selected kind of a distressed pine-looking finish, a little bit whitewashed, so that the more it gets used, the better it's going to look. Okay. And this is just an open cabinet for toy storage. This cabinet, which is much smaller, I've made into a small bookcase for your daughter. Next, I'd like to tell you about the armoire. The upper doors actually are pocket doors when the doors are open. And I've provided you with all of the amenities of a minibar. You have a refrigerator, a small sink, a bar sink, and your microwave here, and you have counter area. The finish of the armoire will be in this family, but it's going to be a distressed finish. What I think is probably the most important accessory is actually a telescope. I think with the view that you have, I think it'll be fun for your kids. The next thing that I'd like to talk about is actually the color palette for the room. Painted it very white, almost loft-like, and that I've whitewashed the brick and the beams, leaving all of the texture. The items that actually tie this entire scheme together for these wonderful Persian rugs. Okay, so let's bring the rug right over here and roll it out so that you can see what it's actually going to look like in the space. I actually started with a rug because I wanted a really upbeat, playful feeling for the room and colorful.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it'll be nice with all the toys around and the colors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
Well, thank you so much, Helen.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we really enjoyed looking over all the different ideas the designers had for the room. But after considering it for a week, we decided to go with Tom's design.